And here we are live on the first stream that I've done. And let's see, what the heck is going on here? There it is. Okay. So what you see in right there are three pieces, and this is the front facade, which is actually this part of the diorama. Now I already prepped out some of it, but I wanted to go through and show this. These three little mold points have to come off, and they were also on this side and on these parts as well. So I take a simple pair of wire snips and we snip them off. They're pretty easy to making sure you're lining up with the main piece. And then we trim it with an X-Acto knife to get it relatively smooth, like that. And then, where this is very smooth from the molding process here, I take a little bit of sandpaper and rough that edge up. And this provides a good base for the glue to really take a good hold. And I've also sanded on the back sides where it will connect as well. And that's pretty simple. Now, this lines up. This is the front door piece, and it actually goes in at a bit of an angle. And this is actually the corner post. And this will also mount underneath the main building part once it gets together. And that's actually a 2-story and 1/87 scale. And I have sanded all these. So now I prefer to use Gorilla Glue gel. Now you can go to the hobby store and buy the Zap-A-Gap for how much is it now? What, $10, $12? Been a long time since I bought it. You can pick this up at Lowe's or Home Depot for about $6, and it goes a long way. It's only 0.20 grams, which is about a half ounce, a little over a half ounce. I use this, and I have Gorilla Glue, just regular super glue. The gel sets a little slower, and then as a backup for that, I also have the Tamiya extra thin cement. This sets up pretty doggone quick. And it flows into the cracks just a little bit better. So what we'll do is I'll actually use this to start. And we'll put a generous little dab here right on the corner piece. And then we line this up and hold it in place. And we let that sit for just a couple of minutes. And you do have time to move the parts around if they're not quite lining up, and that's what this one's doing. It's not quite lining up like we want it to. So that part's nicely lined up. Now I'll show you that while that's setting up, this piece right here, right underneath, ignore that because that's part of the garage that'll be out back. But this top piece, this cutout is where this is going to fit into. So the good thing about this right now is since it's still a little flexible, this piece goes right in here. Now what you want to do is make sure you get your orientation correct because I am working upside down for now. And this piece fits into here like so. And it gets glued into place. But we do want to let this one little piece right here is kind of a key to hold everything else in place. Even though, hey, I got a comment. Thanks, Relentless, for that comment. It's going to be a while before the finished model. Um, that is the very first glue point. So how you can tell, a couple of ways you can tell. A, you can look at the picture that's on the front page, but this is a front door and these are side windows. And this will look like a little bit of wood, painted wood, and have decals on it when we get it completed. But this is the bottom of the door, and this is actually the bottom of the building itself where this will fit in. So the orientation's got to be correct. And then for this one, I'm going to use the gel, and we'll dab some of this on if it'll come out of the tube or out of the bottle. And it's not wanting to cooperate. So come up here and get a puncture the dried glue. And we put a little bit on here. And this doesn't really take much. I got a little too much of a glob right there, so we'll move some of that. Spread it out. This is also where the kind of slow setting process comes into play on this because you want this to line up as close as possible with the corner piece. And then for the other side, because we want a little faster setting through this gap, this is the side with the Gorilla Glue gel. This side, I'm going to use this because it sets up just a little bit faster onto the other side, and it'll fill in to the crack and hold the assembly in place. And I always, on this particularly, put the lid back on each and every time. I don't know how many times I've spilled that stuff. A, it makes a mess. B, it stinks to high heaven. Okay, so we've gone from 3 pieces to a corner piece. Now I let this glue cure for a good couple of hours just to be on the safe side. And then I'll prime this. I'm not sure what I'll be using for a primer because I haven't decided on a final color yet. And that goes, uh, the final color really decides the choice of primers to use, because if you use a light primer, your colors are going to be a little bit brighter. Like, let's say, usually I use a flat white primer. If you use a flat white primer, your colors are going to be brighter. If you use a flat black or darker colored primer, you're going to get a little deeper colors. And I just haven't decided which way to go. According to the box, it's showing that this should be a gray, but frankly, I don't like that. This window will become a small display, and I think I will probably put one of these motorcycles in to the display and put a little light behind it so that it glows. Not, well, the motorcycle's not going to glow, but it'll actually look like a display window of a dealership of some kind. So we're going to set this off and let that dry. And then I think the next thing I'll be working on another live stream will likely be the front or the main building, and then I'll work back from there because it does have another garage and another set back building towards the back of the model itself that I'll be working on. So I guess that's going to be it for this stream, and I'm going to try to take these pieces and have them at least partially prepped out so you don't have to sit through the entire construction process. Like, this piece may have the front part set up for it, and then I'll just show you how I do it with the other side, with this as kind of a example. So I know that was a quick one, but thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, comments, or criticisms, hey, leave them in the comments below and I'll get back to them. Thanks for watching.